जीवेरे निदान तुम्ही सर्वाश्रय.
Synonyms: Prithvi, the earth; Yaiche, just as; Ghata, of other pots; Kolera, of the multitude; Karna, the cause; Ashraya, the shelter; Ashraya, the shelter; Jivera, the living beings; Nidana, root cause; to me; you; to me; you; Sarva Ashraya, shelter of all. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As the earth is the original cause and shelter of all pots made of earth, so you are the ultimate cause and shelter of all living beings. Purport. As the vast earth is the source for ingredients of all earthen pots, so the Supreme Soul is the source for the complete substance of all individual living entities. The cause of all causes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the cause of all living entities. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.10, where the Lord says, Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam, I am the seed of all living entities. And in the Upanishads, Katha Upanishad 2.2.13, which says, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. The Lord is the supreme leader among all the eternal living beings. The Lord is the reservoir of all cosmic manifestation, animate and inanimate. The advocates of the Vishishtadvaitavada philosophy explain the Vedanta Sutra by saying that although the living entities has two kind of bodies, subtle, consisting of mind, intelligence, and ego, and gross, consisting of the five basic elements, and although he thus lives in three bodily dimensions, gross, subtle, and spiritual, he is nevertheless a spiritual soul. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who emanates the material and spiritual world, is the Supreme Spirit. As an individual spirit soul is almost identical to his gross and subtle bodies, so the Supreme Lord is almost identical to the material and spiritual worlds. The material world, full of conditioned souls trying to lord it over matter, is a manifestation of the external energy of the Supreme Lord. And the spiritual world, full of perfect servitors of the Lord, is a manifestation of his internal energy. Since all the living entities are minute sparks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the Supreme Soul in both the material and spiritual worlds. The Vaishnavas following Lord Caitanya stress the doctrine of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, which states that the Supreme Lord, being the cause and effect of everything, is inconceivably simultaneous one with his manifestation of energy and different from them. Hare Krishna. We will chant the Mangalacharan prayer. So if you know it, please unmute and chant alongside with me. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishnabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा. Thank you, dear devotees, again for joining. Thank you, Simeshwar Prabhu, for giving me this seva. It is snowing. It started snowing in the evening on the way back from work. And one of Prabhupada's comments, what he had made on the weather, Prabhupada says that cold is misery and heat is austerity. And austerities is such an important part in a devotee's life, especially the sadhakas, to have austerity. Austerity disciplines the mind. So we have austerity. Ekadashi is coming up on Sunday. So whatever we are used to eating, you don't do that. The austerity of chanting japa, the austerity of following the regulative principles, all these things help discipline the mind. And when the mind is disciplined, then the topics of bhakti get easier to understand, and not only understand, to put into practice. In absence of austerity and discipline, we are just like animals, polished, sophisticated animals who would just be um, living a life on impulses, whatever is there for sense gratification. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, this particular verse, the key points, what we can gather from here is Krishna is the source of everything. Yes, and is uh, he is the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. Right now, what we see, like the explanation giving over here, is that it is a clay pot, what they call the matka, correct? The pot is made of clay. Clay is earth. So, just as the pot is made of clay, and when that pot is discarded, it's broken, it again goes back to the elements. Similarly, we living beings also have this gross and subtle body. This gross body made up of the five elements, right? Earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Ether means space. This is what our gross body is made up of, and our subtle body made up of the mind, intelligence, and ego. And besides this eight, we also have a spiritual element called the Atma, the spirit soul, Atma. So, all these put together in this material world, we have what is called the living entity. So every living entity would have this gross and subtle body, and he would also be the spirit soul. Hare Krishna. So in the material world, the nature of matter is such that it is temporary and ever changing. So this body of ours gets old, it will deteriorate, and finally the soul leaves this body. The soul is like a renter, you can say. It is not the owner of the body, though we think that this body is ours when we say my hand, my this, my that, proprietorship, but it is not. Our body is also not ours, right? So we are a renter, we are making use of this body. And when the time comes, the soul leaves. The lease is expired, correct? In an apartment or whatever, your lease gets over and you have to leave. So the soul leaves this body and goes into another apartment. So that leaving of the body, when the soul leaves the gross body, it is called death. And when the soul acquires or enters into a new lease, enters into the new apartment, a new body, that is called birth. Now, whatever it gets the new lease would be based on the activities, karma, what it would have in the current apartment, whatever it has occupied. And this keeps adding on. It's cumulative, not just in one lifetime. So, karma will determine what kind of body that we have. Dhanurdhar Maharaj had said, karma is what is happening. Whatever is happening to us is karma because of our karma. What you make of it is your destiny. So, there is karma, which could be good, which could be bad, which we'll enjoy, or we'll suffer the consequences of our karma. However, good or bad karma is ultimately bad itself because karma is what is trapping the eternal soul into these temporary conditions. So, there is a way of how you can break this cycle of karma. What Dhanurdhar Maharaj says, destiny is what you make out of it. So we always have a choice, free will. So with that free will, if we decide to engage in acts of devotional service, if we take a spiritual path rather than being stuck with our material habits and the ways that we are doing whatever, then in that case, that karma gets negated. And any activity that we do in bhakti, devotional service, is a karma. It is karma free. You're doing the action, but there's absolutely no karmic reaction. And not only that, to the level of purity, the sincerity, the intensity with which we engage in devotional service, to that degree, our karma balance gets wiped out and it can be cleaned completely, zero, zero. So, this is what the whole setup is. So, when the body is leaving this, when the soul is leaving this body and going away, what happens to the body? Depending on your culture and faith, some people bury the body. Some people they burn the body. In Sanatan Dharma, they burn the body. Some people have what is called burial at sea. They put the bodies. Other people, there are other faiths and community where the body is left out in the open, and then all these birds and other animals will come and eat it. But end of the day, what happens to this body? It is made up of these elements, and whatever be the manner in which the final rites are performed, it gets back into the earth. Like in the Bible, they say, "Dust thou art, dust, D-U-S-T, dust thou art, and to dust thou shall return." This your dust means the mud. This body is just a transformation of matter. And it will return back to that either as ashes in the crematorium, or if it is buried over a long period of time, all the worms, etc., will eat the body, and then that also goes off as the stool, and that also becomes the uh, gets assimilated back in the earth. Hare Krishna. So, this is what we can understand from here. Now, we also know that Krishna is the source of everything. Um, I was listening to my Gurudev's lecture, and he was explaining this point of Achintya Bhed Abheda Tattva. What is this Achintya Bhed Abheda Tattva? Now, we all are very familiar with this analogy of a drop of sea water is same like the ocean itself in terms of its quality, the chemical attributes. So, if you look at the pH factor, the saltiness, etc., it is identical to the whole body of the ocean. However, the drop is just minuscule, whereas the entire ocean is infinite, you can say. So that is the relation the spirit soul has. Now, the drop is a part and parcel of the ocean itself, correct? But qualitatively, it is the same. So, similarly, the soul being a part of Krishna is Sat, Chit, and Anand. We can make this interactive. Is there anybody who know what this term Sat Chit Anand is? Please unmute and share your realizations. Please don't feel shy. What is Satchitanand? What does it mean?
Eternal and knowledgeable and blissful.
Correct. Eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. Sat, eternal, Chit, awareness, knowledge, and Ananda, bliss. So Satchitanand, this is who Krishna is, and this is who we also are. Every living entity is Satchitanand. It's not just limited to human beings. So Satchitanand is who we are, is because that's Krishna is Satchitanand and we are part of Krishna. Look at it this way. You have your whole body, correct? Now, suppose you take one small little hair from your head, that genetic profile will be the same as whatever is the entire body. So that way, qualitatively, we are Satchitanand. However, this body is made up of matter, whereas Krishna and in the spiritual world, the body is also Sat Chit Anand. It is not matter. Matter is also Krishna's energy. So Krishna has different types of energy. He has unlimited types of energy. We can't even estimate what he has. And it is broadly put in these three categories. The first one is his internal energy. Then he has what is called the marginal energy, and then the external energy. The first two, the internal and the marginal energy, are the superior energy called the para shakti, para, superior. And then there is the inferior energy, apara shakti. That is all the material energy. So these are the classification of energy, and we human beings are at the border, the marginal energy. And being at the border, there is a condition where we could be either connected to our original being spirit, you're connected to the internal spiritual energy. That is what our original. And with free will, we also have the choice of getting connected to the material. Now, because we are so minuscule, we always will be under the control, either under the control of the spiritual energy or under the control of the material energy. Doesn't matter whether we are in control of spiritual or the material energy, we are always under the control ultimately of Krishna. It's only when we are under the control of the spiritual, when we are on the spiritual side, correct? Then we are under Krishna's direct control. When we are on the material side, then we are still under Krishna's control, but we are in control of one of his attendants, one of his servants who's in charge of the material energy. We commonly know her as Durga Devi, Durga Ma, right? And her job is to make sure that whoever is the jiva who has taken the decision, the free will, to be attached to this material energy remains here, remains here. So she does her best to keep the jiva over here. And we can see that as devotees, sadhakas, when we take to the path of bhakti, we are used to a certain lifestyle, and now we have another lifestyle. And it can get to be so difficult. There will be so many temptations. Now, if you look at it, the very simple process of chanting japa, all you have is 16 words. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is there any other process that we can think of which just by saying certain words will take care of everything, all the needs, will bring about all perfections, all the siddhis, everything it will take care of. Just these 16 words, how simple it is. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. But at the same time, because of our conditioning, how difficult it is. All we have to do is utter this properly and pay attention to it. Listen, say and listen. We are so accustomed to speaking, we are so accustomed to listening. But when it comes to these 16 words, it becomes so difficult. So, this is what our condition is, dear devotees. We are in this material condition, and there is this opportunity given What Maya does is that when a person takes to the path of bhakti, at that point in time, she uses all her energies and strength and all her power to pull us back into what we were accustomed to. She doesn't want to lose us because that's her job to keep us over here. So then what happens is it will come in form of inattention while doing japa. It will come in form of doubts, either philosophical doubt. It will come in form of all these anarthas. What happens is these anarthas are all in our heart. When we start doing bhakti, it is like it is being stirred, and then it starts bubbling up, and it comes up all in our mind, in our thoughts, in our words, in our deeds. That's what happens. When we are not on bhakti, life is going on. We are in an anartha way lifestyle. We don't even know it. So this is how the whole thing starts bubbling up our anarthas, whatever it be. Then we start doing ninda, we start doing criticism. All these things start happening. So on one end, we are trying to do bhakti, and at the same end, there is this pulling us apart because that is what Maya. And then the more we are determined and we persevere somehow or the other, the more and more. So it is never ever a state, dear devotees, that we should think that, now I can chant properly. Now I can get up in the morning early and chant. I've been doing this now for a long period of time. I think I'm good, Akesha. I've conquered my sleep. Oh, now I know so many shlokas. Oh, now I know the philosophy so well. I have an understanding. The moment that kind of an attitude creeps in, Maya pulls us. That's a crack which develops in whatever we've been trying to put together, our sadhana. Crack develops and Maya enters in through that. So no matter what stage we are in, what state we are in, we should always consider ourselves to be fallen. We should always consider ourselves to be dependent. Always. No matter who we are, no matter what ashram we are, no matter whether we have just come onto the path of bhakti or been there for 30, 40, 50, doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. In such a state of being helpless, of feeling and not just saying by words, but actually feeling, at such a state, that's when we come under the control of the spiritual energy of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any questions so far or a comment? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go to the next verse, text 38. नारा शब्दे काहे सर्व जीवेर निचय आया न शब्दे ते काहे ताहार आश्रय. The word Nara refers to the aggregate of all living beings, and the word Ayana refers to the refuge of them all. Now, if you put these two words, dear devotees, Nara and Ayana means Narayana, correct? So the word Narayana has a compound word, aggregate of all the living beings. Hare Krishna. It's the aggregate of all the living beings and the refuge of them all. So, when my Guru Maharaj was explaining this Achintya Bheda Tattva, he says qualitatively we are like Krishna, but quantitatively we are, quantitatively we are different. What does it mean quantitatively? One way we can visualize is drop in the ocean. The other very nice point which Gurudev brought up is Krishna is complete. We can never be complete. The Jivatma can never be complete. Only Krishna is complete. Purna, he's full, complete in everything. We will have to a certain capacity, but we can never be complete. And to know this, how we can understand this, dear devotees, is if we refer to Ishopanishads. In Ishopanishad, we have this, the invocation, correct? Can you see my screen? I'll come to Ishopanishad's the invocation. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So what does it say? Om Purnam Ada Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Uddachyate Purnasya Purnadaya Adaya Purnam Eva Vaishashyate. So what does this mean? Right? Can someone read the translation if you'd like, please?
I would be happy to read, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go ahead.
The personality of Godhead is a perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as a complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself, because he is the complete whole. Even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. Hare
Oh,
Krishna.
this is who God is. Someone says, no, what is the definition of God? Refer to the Shastras. Forget speculation, forget the dictionary, forget everything. And whatever is there in the Shastras will always correspond and be congruent to whatever is there in the other scriptures. Brahma Samhita, Sarva Karana Karanam, Sarva cause of all causes. See how it relates to this. He's complete. Now, what happens is if I have a bank balance and I have $100 in my bank, if I give somebody $10, my balance becomes 90. That is what the material or that is what the Jivatma is. Correct? The Jivatma can never be complete. It can keep growing, but it will not be complete. Now, Krishna is such that the complete wholes come out of him. All the universes, the spiritual planets, the material, infinite number. But he doesn't reduce. He remains complete. He's always complete. Even what comes out of him, the universes and all will be complete, but still he is. And we can understand this, even the expansions and his avatars, correct? They also they're invested with all the powers and the opulences of the original. The example they give is like a candle. There's the original candle, and it starts lighting up all the other candles. And simultaneously, all of them are burning brightly. But still, there is one original. That original is Krishna. And this Krishna and his for me, this what we can understand. Krishna and his expansions, they exist in different locations and different worlds. There's not a single place where Krishna is not there. Everything is within Krishna, and Krishna is there within everything. Look at the beauty of this. It is mind-bending if you think of it. This is what Krishna, this is who God is, Bhagwan. He's everywhere, he is complete. And only one person is complete. Krishna, Bhagwan. Hare Krishna. And being complete, all his activities, his pastimes are unlimited. We cannot even estimate of that completeness of Krishna. And it is definitely beyond material time and space. We in the material world are constricted to time and space. The laws of nature apply to us. Gravity will apply to you in the material space. Wherever you be on Earth, it will be at a certain force. If you're on the moon, it will be 1/6 whatever is the pull of gravity on Earth. And there are other planets, Jupiter, and much larger, it will be much heavier, the pull of gravity. That's all relative, it doesn't matter. But we will be under the influence of the laws of nature. But with Krishna, it doesn't apply at all. Hare Krishna. The other thing about the material world is, as I said, it is temporary and always changing. So something can come into being, it will exist for a while, grows, correct? It may produce offsprings, and then finally it starts deteriorating. That cycle. So you can look at it as a small seed, germinates, becomes a little sapling, grows, 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 becomes a strong tree, right? Gives fruits, and then after a period of time, it all bends over, gets rotten, and finished. That's what it is. But with Krishna, this is not the case. So from Krishna, Bhagwans comes, Ram Bhagwan, Narsingha Dev, Vamana Dev. So many avatars are there who come. But they are also full. Krishna is also full. It doesn't diminish. Krishna doesn't diminish. This is the meaning of complete. And this is one distinction of Jiva and Krishna. Krishna is complete, whereas we can never be complete. We will always remain tiny. Hare Krishna. So we can get to the next verse. अतएव तुमिहाओ मूल नारायण ऐ एक हेतु शुन द्वितीय कारण.
Karana.
You are therefore the original Narayan. This is one reason. Please listen as I state the second. Hare Krishna. Jivera Ishvara Purushadi Avatara Tanha Sabha Haite Tomara Aishwarya Apara.
Apara.
The direct lords of the living beings are the Purush incarnations, but your opulence and power are more exalted than theirs. Hare Krishna. So, all these avatars are non different from Krishna. Of course, they come for a certain purpose. They come for either as a pastime. Um, Vishnu, Narayan, uh, they are Krishna themselves. There's no difference you can say, correct? But they don't exhibit everything, whereas Krishna exhibits in fullest and all. But for a particular purpose, it's like Lord Ramchandra. He's known as Maryada Purushottam. He came for a particular purpose. Ramchandra ji came, he manifested on earth, did his Lila as the perfect son, as the perfect brother, as the perfect husband, in all perfections to teach mankind. So, being that perfection, Maryada Purushottam, he did not exhibit other pastimes like what Krishna has exhibited. Hare Krishna. And from all these avatars, though it is with Krishna, there are two things which are very attractive. His name itself is attractive. Of course, there are people who are also attracted to Lord Nrsimhadev, to um, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, to whoever is your Ishtadev. There's this word called Ishtadev. Ishta is actually meaning desire, Isha, and Dev is your Lord, Ishtadev. So there is a natural attraction someone may have. In Odisha, people are traditionally, culturally, it's like as though it's hardwired. The Odia people have a natural affinity towards uh, Lord Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadra Mai, right? Whereas in Vrindavan, it is for Krishna. And different places, Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh, it is Lord Ramchandra, Ahobilam, Lord Dev, and so many, it doesn't matter, because whatever, each one is an individual. So that is what the attraction is towards. Albeit with Krishna, there is the beauty and a sweetness in his rasas that Krishna has enacted. It's very sweet, his rasas. So if you see Krishna as a child, very naughty boy, very naughty, um, and he would just enamor everybody, just captures everyone's heart. Krishna. Look at the pastimes now we'll be having in November, sometime away. Damodar month, Kartik month will be there. How beautiful is that pastime? Krishna taking the cows, Krishna on the way to Mathura when he was going to fight with the wrestlers, right? Chanur and Mushtika. to Kansa's place. Even just that pastime, the description of Krishna and his friends entering Mathura, it is so captivating. This is what Krishna is. So the whole process of bhakti is personal relationship with God. God is a person, a supreme person, and we can engage with him in so many ways. And there are these avatars, there are these manifestations, and depending on whatever is a proclivity, Krishna makes himself available. Even to non-devotees, Krishna reciprocates. Even to atheists, even to the enemies, Krishna reciprocates. So it is said, to the degree that we approach Krishna, to that degree, he reveals himself and approaches us. If we are really desperate, we say we are running out of time, and we run towards Krishna, he comes running towards us. If we are doing japa just to finish the quota of 16 rounds, those who are initiated or whatever it is, then Krishna also says, okay, fine. You're just doing it casually. He'll also treat us casually. Hare Krishna. So, what this is that all the uh, avatars put together, correct? In one sense, understand it that they are no different from Krishna, but still like the original candle. His Um, his sweetness and his beauty is what really captivates all of us. Hare Krishna. Text 41. Ateva Adishwara Tumi Sarva Pita Tomara Shakti Te Tanra Jagat Rakashita. Therefore, you are the primary Lord, the original Father of everyone. They, the Purushas, are protectors of the universe by your power. Hare Krishna. So, give me a minute. I'm just referring to my note. So Krishna doesn't need uh, anything or anyone. There's no encumbrance on Krishna. So if Krishna has to will something, it happens. For you and me who are finite, and we are not complete, if we have something, we have to do an endeavor to get it done, whatever it be, whether it is hard work, easy work, whatever. But we have to do it. With Krishna, that's not the case. And over here, what we are understanding, they are the protectors of the universe by your power. So it is just that same Krishna who has manifested. And because they are not exhibiting all the qualities, they are not exhibit. So they are, Krishna is still the supreme. Even they are supreme. It's a little difficult to understand, and I don't know if I'm expressing it correctly. Maybe other devotees, Simeshwar Prabhu, or whoever would be able to explain this point better. But the thing is, Krishna is the original, correct? And being the original, he has that status of being original. Now, there are different universes, there are different innumerable material universes, and even more than that is the spiritual universes. The material universes, it's almost infinite, is still only 25% of the spiritual universes. And in each of the universe, there's the presiding deity. And when we say protector is the person whose shelter, ashraya, everyone is under. So the highest of all the universes, material and spiritual, is Goloka. And that's where Krishna is. Hare Krishna. So what we could understand from these things is the uh, magnificence of Krishna. We understand these terms, oh God, we understand Bhagavan, but Prabhupada says, everyone knows God is great. We say, oh, God is great. But how God is great, we don't understand. And that's where these scriptures like Caitanya Charitamrita, through these verses, we can understand how God is great. Someone will ask you, what is God? God is great. We'll say that. Different. In fact, even in Islam, they have this saying. How we say Hari Bol, correct? In Islam also they have a saying, Allahu Akbar. Allah is God. Akbar is great. God is great. Yes, but how God is great? So to the detail with which it's explained, and there are many more details, about his Shakti, his activities, um, his paraphernalia, everything, details are given, detail. His teeth, his toenails, his flutes. So, I mean, it's to a great extent the detail, how God is great. So this is when we read the Shastras, we can understand, we get to know more about God. And the more we get to know about God, the more we can fall in love with God. And that's why, dear devotees, attending these classes in the evening, attending the Bhagavatam class in the morning, we should make it a habit. Because even if you just are attending it, that nectar, we have one Mataji who doesn't speak English. She doesn't speak English, a word of English. She doesn't understand English. A little elderly Mataji, and she's part of the Jersey City Bhakti Vriksha. Regularly she attends, regularly, and the discussion is in English. The classes are in English, question answers are in English. And then when we asked Mataji, how is this like, uh, you don't understand and still you're so regular? And she gave a beautiful reply. She's saying in Hindi, she's saying, so what if I don't speak English? I know what is being spoken is about God. Bhagwan ke bare mein. We are speaking about Bhagwan. And just those words falling in my ear, I may not understand it. See, this is the level of faith this Mataji has. Imagine if we are sitting in a class and it is being spoken in Swahili. Because of politeness, we may sit for one class. If somebody is a friend, we have an African friend, we may go with 2, 3 classes, and after we don't understand, Baba, what is the point of me sitting over here? But that Mataji's dedication is, in spite of not understanding a word, she says, yeah, I know you people are talking about Bhagwan, and those words are falling in me. So she knows that those words are spiritual. So she's not listening with this material ear. She's not listening through the mind. She's listening through the organ of her soul. The soul also has senses, and that transformation is happening. Hare Krishna. So that's why we should take this opportunity, dear devotees, to join whatever is a sangha, whatever is the association. We should. And what does it mean to associate? To associate means to serve. Association is not just a social connection. Association means to serve. And how can we serve? There are so many opportunities to serve. We can serve by listening, we can serve by sharing, we can serve by doing. So many ways there is to serve. So when we are in the Sangha, this is what we should be looking at. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, um, in the next few verses also, we'll speak about the magnificence of Krishna. Understand how Krishna is great. And the whole purpose is so that we can fall in love with Krishna. We're already in love with Krishna, it's just covered to reawaken that spark which is there in all of us. Hare Krishna, Srila
Hare Krishna,
Prabhupada
Prabhuji.
ki Jai.
Jai.
Any questions? Any comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So nice, Prabhuji. Very nicely you articulated and described the love of Krishna, how to become, how to get the Krishna prem. Very nice, Prabhuji. Wonderful class.
All glories to Prabhupada. You raised a very important point, love of Krishna. I remember when when we were younger, there used to be this song, very popular song by a very popular musician, Western musician called Stevie Wonder. And he had this, and it was on the world chart for many weeks. It was called Part-Time Lover, the name of the song. Part-Time Lover. So many years later, now I think this is who I am. You know, I want to love Krishna. There are times when, there is this big thing of, yeah, Krishna, and then, falling back into old habits. So, but again, doesn't matter. In bhakti, there's always progress.
Yeah.
There's always progress. There's never regress. Okay, we should do more and more too, because in this lifetime itself, we can go back to Godhead, be who we are, really are. But we have our conditioning. Different people are at different level. Doesn't matter. We fall down. The important thing is to get up and keep walking towards Krishna. That's all we have to do. Even if you don't, even if you're doing japa in full of aparad,
Mm.
continue doing japa. Because that, again, see the beauty of japa. Offensive chanting, continue chanting and it will become pure chanting.
Yeah.
It's This is what we have. This is the gift that we have. Hare Krishna.
And because of our dear Shilu Prabhupada,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
What we got.
yeah.
Yeah.
Prabhupada, the acharyas,
That
even our own sangha,
wholesome.
when PNJ, wherever it is, each one of us has so much to contribute, so much to contribute to each one of our individual uh, progress in bhakti. But we the problem is we take it for granted.
Easily available.
It's easily available. We take it for granted. We don't
It is.
appreciate what value is.
Yeah.
And that's why, so, a practical example or thing is, see what happened last week when our children, they did this love festival,
Yeah.
correct? All
Yeah.
youngsters. And I remember all of these young, I know Lakshmi, I know Keshav, they were in our Sunday school
Yeah.
at
Yours.
CCC. They were so small. They were in elementary school. They were in middle school. So small they were. So small. See the effect of Sangha. Young, they are the prime of their youth. What is the prime of the youth doing in the material world? What
Yeah.
are they doing? All nonsense. All nonsense. Whatever it is being done. And what is our youth doing? They've organized such a big festival. Look
Yeah.
at their organization skills. Independently, everything they did.
Every weekend, Prabhuji, all these youth, they were going in the morning and coming like 11:30, 12 o'clock. Like
Yeah,
all youth, right? Oh my God, like 4 weeks. Since 4 weeks, they are totally in that.
yeah. And
Every Sunday.
it's not just the effort which they have put in. See
But
the result, not only for themselves, see what they have done. How many people had come? And
mm,
what yesterday Murari Prabhu was mentioning, he just got lost in Kirtan.
yeah,
So see how much see the effort and see what has the result become is that so many people they're bringing closer to Krishna. And just think about it is how Krishna will reciprocate.
oh, Sham Sundar was smiling.
And some if you want to see a fault, you'll see a fault with everything. Even in perfection, you'll see a fault. We'll see a fault even in the deity. Oh, Radharani's nose ring is a little crooked. You can see a fault in anything and everything.
Prabhuji, yeah.
Anything and everything, because that is our fault-finding nature. The crow will always put its beak
Mm,
in the kachara peti,
yeah.
whereas a hansa, a swan, will pick moti, pearls.
Very true, Prabhuji.
So this is how, in our own congregation, amongst us, and
Mm,
this is what it means to have sangha. So happy with what our children did.
Hmm.
Superb. The decoration, when you entered in only, the the prasadam.
Everything, like everything was like awesome and very organized also. This year, everything was very organized. Last day, Prabhuji, it was like so much wind, but still program was on. And when we were serving, that pendal was like blowing. We
Yeah.
started to sing a prayer. But it went so nice. It calmed down. Prasadam served nicely. It was really, everything was amazing.
There are
And
so many young children. See the example which is being set. I was seeing Om, then Keshav Madhav's daughters.
yeah,
So many young, they're small children, like what once upon a time Lakshmi Keshav and the gang was.
mm,
That's
yeah,
how they were sitting for hours together. I couldn't, I came only one day. I was watching it on TV here on
yeah.
through
I saw only one day. I saw you and Mata. And
YouTube.
Prabhuji, when Maharaj Kirtan was ending, and little kids, I saw we were dancing, but little kids were sitting like 4 5 years. They were shouting once more, "Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol." It was like everyone, old, seniors, adults, children, youth, everybody totally engrossed. It was really like wonderful program.
I only pray and all blessings on them because we're older. I mean, ISKCON is in good hands, I would say,
Yeah,
the
definitely.
generation. Happy Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, we went a little over. Oh, it's just 8 o'clock, so we are on time.
Perfect time. 8 o'clock. Niru Mataji, you want to say anything?
No, it's very nice. I heard about you, both of you. It's a nice class. Yeah.
Jai Prabhupada.
Jai.
Okay. Sameshwar Prabhu. Oh, my dear friend Dhir Govind Prabhu is there today. Prabhu Dandvat. Dhir Govind is one of our, Prabhu is one of our oldest congregation member. Not just age, he was one of the first early devotees of ICNJ.
Yeah, Dirgo and Prabhuji was there all 3 days. And he was reminding, like, remembering Mataji when we were dancing. He always said that. Because Mataji used to dance with me in Gaura Arti. So he
Mataji was a smiling devotee, always smiling.
very nice devotee, very nice.
Always
Always smiling and yeah, wonderful devotee she was.
when
And she
Dhir
was
Govind Prabhu
my
was
part-
sharing. Sorry, go ahead, Mataji.
yeah, she was my dancing partner all the time. So
Prabhu
Prabhu,
was mentioning that even when Mataji was through a lot of pain, body, and
hmm.
when she left the body in presence of her Gurudev, Loknath Swami, chanting, she had a smile on her face when she left.
Oh yeah, she was looking at Radharani's picture and she was preaching in that condition. In the hospital, she was preaching to all nurses and that.
Yeah,
So so nice, yeah.
thank
And
you.
she was smiling. And I attended her funeral, so her face was so glorious, so beautiful. She was very pretty, so glorious, like she was peacefully sleeping like that.
Jai. Very good. So, dear devotees, thank you very much. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Simeshwar Prabhu, I know, does deity worship. So, we'll chant the Vaishnava prayer and bring this to a close. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Patrusya
Vacha
Kripa Sindhu Eva cha
Sandupyaiva च
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
Pavanebhyo
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो
Vaishnavebhyo
नमः।
Namo
Vrinda ki
Ki
jai.
Jai.
जय
Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Yeah.
Jai.
जय
Bhat ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
हरे
Krishna.
कृष्ण
Thank
Thank
you, Prabhuji.
Hari. Hari.
हरि बोल।
पुरुष जगदीश्वर जय जय परम पुरुष जगदीश्वर जय जय पुरुष पुरुष योग्यासने सबाह्य भितर ओम पवित्रो पवित्रो योग्यासने सबाह्य भितर श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु ओम पवित्रो सबाह्य भितर श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु नारायण Namaha. Vaya Namaha.